If you guys enjoy what I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it's free and easy to do. Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. On the way to the Gestro village, Gustav and the others come across a flower that looks exactly like the one that Gustav gave to Sophie. As soon as he touches it, the Nevron who had been hanging around the area attacks them. They beat it, but when Lune realizes that the thing only attacked them because they touched his stuff, she stops Gustav from killing it. Their goal is to figure things out about the place, not just kill everything that moves, even if it was made by the paintress. Something about the thing seems familiar to Maëlle, but it runs away before she can touch it, so they keep moving toward the village. They know they're getting close to the village when they see a lot of dead Nevrons scattered all over the place. The things had gotten too close to the Gestro's guards. Unfortunately, those guards are idiots and they attack the expedition even though they can clearly see that they are not monsters. So Gustav and the others break the giant Gestro guard that turns out to be a much smaller Gestro riding inside of a big puppet mech suit. The guard suit was supposed to be unbeatable according to Karatum, but it obviously did not live up to its reputation. Once he finds out that they were sent by Noko, he assumes very wrongly that they were sent to help them test out their weapons so they can upgrade them. He agrees to guide them to the village with a little convincing, but he doesn't tell the guards not to attack since he wants to use the expedition to test out their strongest weapon. When they break it too, that convinces Karatum that Golgra, the leader of their people and their strongest fighter by far, would like to meet these newcomers, so he takes them directly to the village. Beating their guardian made Golgra have enough respect for the group to speak to them personally, and she's not surprised that they are trying to get to the paintress since every one of the human expeditions that have passed through the area have been doing the same thing. She is surprised that they don't have a boat though, but she gets very impressed when they tell her how the old man attacked them and they survived. That same man had attacked their village before, so she's seen how powerful he is firsthand. Since they don't have a boat, Golgra says that their best chance of getting to the paintress is a creature called Esier. He should be willing to help the expedition if they ask nicely. That's something that Lune is more than happy to do since she's heard about Esier and she wants to meet him too. He doesn't live too far away from the village, but only the greatest warriors are allowed to know the password to get there. Esier is very friendly, but he doesn't realize just how strong he is, so he might kill a weak person by accident. Beating the Gestro's guard isn't enough proof that the expedition is strong enough to survive the encounter, so Golgra forces them to compete in her tournament to prove themselves. If they can beat the current champion, they'll get the password. The Gestros that they fight aren't all that strong, but it turns out that their champion is Ciel, another survivor of Expedition 33. She's very happy to see that the others survived, but that doesn't stop her from trying to keep her spot as the champion. Once the fight's over, she tells the others how she ended up there after the massacre on the beach. She had ran to a weird yellow forest and a Gestro simply took her there. It's not all that fascinating of a story, but since they completed the task, they go back to Golgra, who tells them that the password is "get out of my way." Because the Gestros are weird, part of the password is shouting it as loud as they can at the guard, so the expedition sets off to do just that. The crew decides to camp before they make the trip to Esier, and during their break, time seems to stop for everyone but Maëlle, and a weird white-haired woman with a burned face shows up. She looks like she wants to say something to Maëlle, but the older man who murdered the entire expedition appears and tells Alicia to go back home. She's really upset about Maëlle for some reason, and the man understands since according to him, everything that's going wrong is Maëlle's fault, and she doesn't even know it. She really wants to know why he said that, but he tells her to take her friends back to Lumiere so they can live their last year in peace, because the next time he sees them, he's gonna kill them. Maëlle tries to stab him, but the world shifts back to normal, putting her back in the camp. None of the others saw anything, but the whole thing freaked her out so much that she can't really answer any of their questions, so they just add that to the list of things that they have to worry about later and they go to sleep. When they get to the guard outside of Esier's place, it turns out that Golgra never even told him the password, so he pretty much would have let them in no matter what they said. She just wanted to make someone yell at him because Gestros are strange. Esier is a very weird, very large, overly cheerful giant creature who comes flying in by flapping his arms. Something that really shouldn't work, but it does because the world is a strange place. He's apparently seen Ciel before since he knows that she can't swim, but she is positive that she would have remembered seeing him if they had actually met. He's willing to help the expedition cross the sea, but he says he needs a special rock called Flory to do it. Somehow the rock helps him swim, but it's been stolen by his arch nemesis Francois. Seeing as how Francois is his neighbor, it will be a 30-second walk to get the thing. So Gustave and the others go talk to Francois, who turns out to be a turtle who does not like people on his property. If they want him to hand over the rock, they'll have to fight him for it. They do just that, but in the middle of the fight, the turtle gets tired and just hands the rock over so he can go to sleep. It turns out that Francois didn't have Esier's rock, and it's still out in the Stone Wave Cliffs. Esier still needs it if he's going to help them, so they agree to go to the Stone Wave Cliffs to get it, even though it's a good distance away. To prove just how powerful he is, a giant Nevron appears in front of Esier and he one-shots it, all while claiming that getting the rock himself is too much effort, so the expedition makes their way through the cliffs until they get to the place where he senses his rock. He also feels something very dangerous in the area, which turns out to be a very creepy lamp-holding Nevron that tries very hard to stop the expedition from moving forward. They kill the thing and retrieve the rock, giving Esier the ability to act as the crew's boat. Lune and Ciel board their new living ship, but before Maël and Gustave can make it, the old man attacks them. Gustave shields Maël and faces the man alone, which ends exactly how you might expect, with Maël being forced to watch him die. The old man goes to kill her too, but another man who looks like Gustave's much cooler older brother steps in to save her. He and the older man know each other very well, and from the way he doesn't fight him after he lets Maël escape, it makes it clear that this mystery man isn't somebody to be taken lightly. The entire crew takes Gustave's death hard, but Maël takes it the hardest for obvious reasons. Lune is pretty sure that their mission is a bust, so she just wants to prepare things for the next expedition since the Lumina converter was lost with Gustave. However, their mission takes a slightly brighter turn when the man who saved Maël shows up with Gustave's robot arm and tells them the fastest way to get to the monolith. Ciel wants to know where he got his expedition uniform from since he was not a part of their mission. It turns out that he was from Expedition 0, the very first one that happened 67 years ago. He should be both dead and old, but according to him, something odd happened to some of the first expeditioners and they just stopped aging altogether, which also made them immune to the gommage. He doesn't know how, but both he and Renoir, the man who's been causing Expedition 33 so many problems, became immortal. Renoir thinks his immortality is a gift from the Paintress, so he does whatever he can to protect her from the expeditioners. Verso's gotten tired of burying his friends, and he wants to kill the Paintress so he can finally be free, which means he wants to join Expedition 33. Maël doesn't care as long as she gets to kill Renoir for taking out Gustave, and if killing the Paintress has to come first, she'll take all of the help that she can get. This concludes the story of Act 1 of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Grab a copy of my novel on your way out, and I'll see you all next time.